These three same projects that we've previously been looking at have shared resource assigned to tasks. The Swimlane timeline is able to show us in a timeline view who's been assigned to what and when. In addition, it can give us a good sense of how much a resource has been allocated to tasks and where they might be either over or under allocated. Let me show you what I mean. I'll select the Resource View option in the Add Show ribbon. The Resource View option can be toggled on or off by clicking on it. So if you want to return to the normal Swimlane timeline view, then you simply click on the Resource View option again. When selected, the Resource View first compiles a list of resources that have been assigned to all tasks across the portfolio of projects that users are currently working with in their Swimlane timeline. The user is presented with a checklist of resources to work with. I could select just a subset of resources or all resources. In this case, I'll select all resources. Each resource selected will have their own swim lane. Any tasks that have multiple resources assigned to them will be included in the swim lane of each assigned resource. Notice too, since the task cost summary field totals were displayed before selecting the resource view, it is automatically shown when switching to the resource view. In this case, I'd also like to add the work summary field totals too. To do this, I'll go back to my summary fields option and add the display of the work field. And I'll switch the default estimated hours format to use a new format, 0 hours, to be used for work. I'll also move work above cost so that the work field displays first. And I'm also going to apply a custom named format that colors tasks based on the task project field value. The lab interface project tasks are green, the system upgrade project tasks are blue, and the device drivers project tasks are yellow. Let me zoom in so you can get a better view of a couple of the resource swim lanes. Notice that the height of the task differs. Remember, task height in a resource view is an indication of the percent allocation to the task. If I hover over the design functional specification task that Bonnie's been assigned to, we can see the exact percent allocation for all resources assigned to that task, and also the project name associated with that task. In this case, Brad Sutton is 10% allocated, and Bonnie is 90% allocated to that task. Notice that the height of that task in Brad's swim lane is much smaller than that in Bonnie's. Right away I can see that Bonnie may have overallocation issues in December since she's 90% allocated on a task in the lab interface project. And if I hover over this other task, I can see she's 75% allocated to a task in the system upgrade project. If the lab interface project were more critical, then I may want to push out the system upgrade project tasks for Bonnie. I can use the right-click project task hyperlink feature to jump directly to that project and that task like this. Now I can make any necessary changes to the tasks here in project, save the project, jump back to the Swimlane timeline, and use the refresh option to update the resource view with the changes reflected. Now before I share this with my team, I want to change the title of this diagram. And since all Swimlane timeline names displayed are data-driven, I'll use the new page right-click option to show the Visio shape data window, and I'll click on the title shape and edit the short name that gets displayed to Portfolio Resource Overview. Now you can see if I zoom out that displaying swim lanes for all resources generates a very long swim lane timeline diagram. That's okay. If I want to break it up across multiple pages, you have the ability to do that. And let me use the PowerPoint pagination option to paginate this. So I can either paginate it to PowerPoint or I can paginate it to another Visio drawing. In this case, let's paginate it to PowerPoint. The PowerPoint pagination option first breaks up a long Swimlane timeline into subpages where each page is then given the same header, footer, and legend. It then creates a PowerPoint slide deck for each page. When it's all done, I have my Portfolio Resource Overview PowerPoint presentation completed and ready to go for my presentation. We've just seen how the Swimlane Timeline can help you get greater visibility into resource allocations across projects to better understand who's assigned to what and when. This gives managers the ability to make better informed decisions about future resource assignments and project schedule adjustments. For the final live presentation today, I now will demonstrate how the new Swimlane Timeline version 5.7 can help users visualize their Excel spreadsheets.